why do you think our culture is toxic? And why do you think there's so much responsibility on men in a way that they cannot even have time to think about themselves?
That's it. I mean, okay, let's start with the first part. Why do you think our community is toxic? And what do you mean by that?
Toxic, well, okay. So I think the way that I think our community is toxic in a way is because um, it puts I might a lot of people might not like this.
Hey, but yeah, you asked the question, so we got to figure it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Perfect. So, okay. So, I think it's all about the power. And especially we are all like, we're living in a male dominant society. And yeah,
So can you so in within India or within North America, within the Indian community? What do you
within the
mean?
Punjabi
Yeah,
community,
good. Yeah, okay.
right? So we're living in a male dominant society, right? And within the Punjabi community, right? And in that sense, we put pressure on men, right? In that sense, what I think, pressure on men. And when we put pressure on men, in a sense, we try to give them the strength that they're needed, and we kind of push them to do better. And we kind of give them validations also. Because at an end, we are not safe. It all comes about safety and security.
Yeah, I think that may be the culture, perhaps, right? But if look again, I'm not religious, but if I guess if you would go back to some of the religious teachings in Sikhism, it's not that. It doesn't teach that. So how is that being taught? I think it's cultural rather than religious, right? So or spiritual or whatever. So it's the culture that kind of creates that. So it's not just Punjabi culture. I would argue that a lot of India is like that. In various different states, they have that sort of culture, right? Why it's that way, I don't know why it's that way. I mean, it could be a billion different reasons. How to counter it, I kind of have a rough idea, and that's individual responsibility. Every individual should be owning their own lives, man, woman, or not. So you're talking about the husband passing away and the mom making sure that like mom should figure out for herself how she needs to be a savage, how she needs to create for herself.
But
And then
that's not what's taught in the society.
sure, then don't listen to the society. I stopped. So that's I mean I can't explain society or not because I'm not a sociologist or anything and I haven't done the studies, but I can tell you as an individual you have all the power.
Yes, you have.
You control everything. It's like a video game. You're the main character in a video game. You get to decide what you want to do, no one else. So that's your own weakness that's listening to the society that you think that the society is telling you what's better for you. Now, like I said earlier, it's freaking hard to take ownership and individual responsibility. So people don't want to do it. So it's easier for them to say, oh, I'm just a woman and I'll do this for this and I'll get this back. But that's not the case. My daughter's 7. I want her to have individual responsibility. Whatever she wants to do, like, fine, cool, do it. If you want to be a housewife, cool, whatever, right? But I want her to make that decision. I want her to decide that, not me. I want her to decide what she feels she wants to do with her life and take ownership of it. Once you take ownership of what you want to do with your life, no one can stop you. You control then everything, right? And all the other things are external things that bother you. Now, is it hard? Yeah. Is it easy to disconnect from that white noise, which is your parents, brother, sister, uncle, whoever? Fuck yeah, it is. I know. I'm Punjabi. I grew up in a house. I grew up in a household. I This is what I did 4 years ago. I created boundaries around everyone. I told everyone to fuck off, and I'm going to do what I'm going to do. You either like it or you
In a
don't.
literal sense,
Yeah,
or
yeah. I just said, this is what I'm doing. Either you get on board or you're out of my life. Simple. Because I was at a stage in my life that I saw my family and I saw everything. I don't want to live that life. Why, if I don't want to live that life, why would I listen to them? I was trying to find people that I resonated with. I love my parents. I don't resonate with them. I'm different than my parents. I'm not a guy who's going to get a master's in engineering. Just fuck that, man. So I had to find people that I resonate with. And my friend Sean Taylor is that guy. Or a bunch of other people that I've met since are those people. So I had to create a different environment for myself, remove the old one and create a new one, and then take the steps necessary to move in that direction. And it's hard. I mean, it's not easy. And people who are listening to this are going to be, yeah, whatever. Oh, that's, good. Yeah, you could do it, but I can't do it. Man, my dad used to beat the shit out of me, man. I know. I grew up in a culture. My dad used to drink. I grew up in the culture. But I don't want to live that life. So how do you want to live your life? That's what you got to ask yourself. And if the people around you aren't giving you or helping you or reinforcing the life that you want to live, you got to put a boundary up. Doesn't mean that boundary's there forever, but the boundary's there until you get your feet stand on your own 2 feet, figuring out what you're doing. My boundary's gone with my parents now because they see it. They're like, oh, okay. Now they're proud like crazy. And I don't make money. It's not because of the money. It's because of what I'm doing. That's what I'm not even religious. I'm doing Seva like every single day in the way that I think it should be done.
Right.
And I think maybe that's what makes my parents proud. Maybe what makes them proud is that I'm doing something that's very difficult and I'm achieving something there. Maybe that's what makes them proud now. Rather than, I don't know, becoming some guy in an office, 9 to 5, waiting to die after 40 years.